I don't know.
I'm ready to see all of you.
It's going to fall apart if I try to move it
All right.
closer. That wouldn't look good on film if it fell apart.
Okay, Sharks, who wants to come and give me $30,000 for 10% of my company? No, sorry. Sorry. Actually, thank you guys for having me today. I really appreciate that. I will do my best to take up some of your time and explain kind of what I'm doing and where I'm at and where I've been. To let you know, John Fremoire, Sasquatch Water Company, 1737 Southwest Odom Meadow. That's where we're going to be, hopefully in the next few weeks. Equipment's being delivered. But to give you a background of me, been all over the world. Started out in California, being a good kid down there. Family split up, all kinds of good stuff. Ended up living with my dad in Vegas. Got tired of that after high school, like most kids do, and joined the military. So I did 8 years, 16 countries, all that kind of good stuff. Seen a lot of sand, seen a lot of snow, and so came back to the States. And everything I've done has always kind of been in the service industry, service and sales. I did pretty good in sales. I've sold everything from cars to jewelry to clothes, high-end clothes. Living in Vegas for a while. Worked at Caesar's Palace. So after that, met my wife. Actually, my first wife. I do have 2 wives, ex-wife, 1 ex-wife. Babe, I love you. But yeah, so that didn't work out, obviously. So now I'm remarried, been for 24, almost 25 years. So good woman, given me 2 wonderful sons. And in the process of being a dad, always trying to take care of stuff, sent me away for a lot. I worked after the military. I worked for AAA for about 8 to 10 years, doing emergency road service, learning about insurance, auto insurance, home insurance. And then in '08, that wonderful year happened, and I got downsized. But a friend of mine from church said, "Hey, do you know about crop insurance?" I don't know about crop insurance. I still don't know that much about crop insurance, and I did it for 15 years. But started out as an adjuster, hanging out with farmers. So I've been to 43 of the 50 states now because of that. Tell me when time's up. That was a quick 15 minutes. Yeah, so I got to travel all over great Midwest, Iowa, North Dakota, everywhere from the Canadian border to the Mexican border. I've seen it. Blueberries, grapes, cranberries, wheat, lots and lots of wheat, corn, soybeans, lots and lots of those, miles and miles of those. And so to say all of that, water's always been an issue, whether it's down in Klamath, whether it's up here, whether it's over in Portland. It's a big deal in Oregon. As we've continued to grow, as I joined the chamber, started attending some of these meetings and finding out we're just exponentially growing, and it's not stopping. As well as the city and the government's trying to do, depends on what neighborhood you're in and how good your water is. And now if you're out of town, you have your well water, great, until that runs dry, right? So that's where Sasquatch Water kind of was the thought behind it. So towards the end of my crop insurance career, which ended just about a year ago, so yeah, I had a buddy that died at the company I worked for. There was one of 9 of us that did what we did across the country. And this typical big business goes, ship keeps sailing, right? Doesn't matter, you gotta keep going. Same thing with the military. And so I get that. But there was nothing left. There was nothing left in my gas tank for that. Because of the hours being gone, because of the days and weeks and whatnot, lost a lot of time with kids, right? Typical dad. And so, wanting to do better, watching that happen, that was the impetus for this. Luckily, we need good water. So, yeah, basically a year ago, cashed out the 401. Thank you, previous, for that. But yeah, it gave me just enough of a boost to just do it. You know, I'm pushing 50 now, so I figured I'm not getting any younger. I wanted to do something for my kids that would just bring me home, you know, and to be able to give to them, and to be able to give back to the community. That was the big thing. My wife Diane, got to do something good. We're going to give back, and that's part of what we're doing at Sasquatch. So, can I get into the technical a little bit?
Yeah.
Get out of that for a second. We're doing 12-step reverse osmosis water. And what that means is basically, I do have information about it, but we start out with a AG pre-filtration. It's like a cartridge, gets it down to 20 microns. Then we hit it with a carbon fiber, another micron filter, a reverse osmosis pump. There's another membrane that goes down to like the billionth of a micron. We then go ahead and store it in these FDA approved, so it can't get any kind of bad stuff in it. We repressurize it. It goes through a couple of different pumps, an ultraviolet sterilizer, another carbon filter. There's some more pressure tanks, and one last shot of going through a coconut shell filtration process, which actually polishes it. It gives it that really nice smooth taste. It doesn't taste like coconut or anything, but it just gives it that nice clean flavor. It then goes through a stainless steel sterilizer that gets rid of 99.9% of all the bacteria. And then lastly, we hit it with ozone just to get rid of any other kind of weird stuff. So that's kind of the science behind it. It's way more than I understand. Luckily, I'm just the guy that gets to change the filters and then sell it back to you guys. But it really is. I've seen the system. It comes from Southern California. It's made here. They're actually in the process of shipping it up right now. It's going to be assembled on site. Everything is stainless steel. And essentially what the experience will look like, you come into the store, you see me, we'll have 3 gallons and 5 gallon jugs. There will be an 8 faucet dispenser on one of the walls where you can come and fill your jugs up per gallon. Is how we'll be charging it. 6 of those 8 will be dedicated specifically to the reverse osmosis. The other 2 are going to be alkali water. What I've found is alkali water is a great thing that nobody knows about. We all need water, but what alkali water does is we have another filter that once we do all of that stuff too, we send some of that water through this filter, and it adds minerals back into it, raises the pH back up to 9.0, or just above that, which is where your body can optimally absorb all of the nutrients that it needs. There's a bunch of things that it actually does for you, as far as it's good for your heart health, it's good for your skin health. Obviously it rehydrates you, and it actually helps with detoxification, digestion. And so with all those things, you can see that there's even potential for weight loss. Like, I don't want to be a snake oil salesman and say that this is going to be the next best thing, but it is something that people need to know more about, just to supplement their normal water use. I mean, I would say 90% of us don't drink enough water. And that's just habit. I don't have time for water. So that's some of the things that the RO and the alkali water, we're going to be having both of those. The other crazy thing about alkali water, because you see it in stores now, you see Smart Water's got theirs, and they're in these plastic jugs and whatnot. It's actually garbage, guys. It loses its alkalinity, is basically what I've learned, or what I'm learning, is that so when you put the water through that process and then bottle it, within just a couple of days, it actually loses all of that alkalinity in it. And so what we're going to do is we'll be making it there on site. We're actually going to have, we'll have 20-ounce bottles, but then we'll also have 48-ounce stainless steel containers and then 64-ounce size growlers. So any of you beer drinkers, you can bring your growlers down and get your fill of water. Before you go on your pub crawl, bring an extra growler of water for yourself. But that'll be in a dark glass or some type of glass. I haven't decided on that. But that's the best way to store it, is either in stainless steel or in glass. And so that's why we're going to do that. And that's the best way to keep it fresh. As well as in the store, on the container, there will be a bottle rinser, so you'll actually be able to clean your bottles inside before you fill them up. So that'll all be what's going on in there, including, and this is the fun part, we did this as kind of a side idea, and we decided to try ice. And the interest that we've had in the ice has been just amazing, because what we've decided to do is we're going to go with what they call cublet, which is like the nugget ice that they sell.
Sonic ice.
There you go.
Yes.
Or at the hospitals, wherever you want to, yeah. So we'll have that, but then as well as there'll be a crescent-shaped ice, and so what that will do is that water will actually go through the filtration process, and this ice will be the purest, hardest, longest lasting on the market, supposedly. We'll see. I've done a couple of tests, and so far the results have been good. But it's better than the stuff that you can get from some of the other local places. So yeah, so that's that.
John?
Yes.
Will there be, down the line, so like for our office, we get the big jugs of water
Yes.
delivered through those systems?
Yes.
And that's all I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that something down the line that will be offered? Is where we can get those kinds
So right now, there's been some hoops because we're actually the first one in Central Oregon.
Okay.
There's a couple other spots in Portland.
Okay.
I think there's one in Eugene, but we'll be the first one in Central Oregon. So the Department of Ag has got me jumping through a couple of hoops to get everything going, and so trying to keep it simple for right now, but that's not out of the question. We're just trying to keep it as a self-service,
Okay.
and to alleviate that, we will have, like I said, the jugs for sale, but then we'll also have at the front of the store available 24/7 4 dispensers that you guys can come any hour.
Wonderful.
So if you guys are heading out
So
to
this
the lake,
eliminates going to get like the store-bought bottles of waters and stuff and we can start drinking a lot more healthier.
exactly,
I love that.
exactly.
So Jamie, are you saying that, because right now you have a water delivery service where they bring?
We have a water delivery
So-
service, and it would be, boy, to have a healthy,
So
for the future.
short of that, somebody on your staff or whatever would go to this place and
Exactly.
get
Right.
the jugs
Right.
themselves,
yes.
instead of having
But
to
even
deliver.
We are potentially looking, because like I said, the ice has been such a huge,
Yeah.
I had no idea so many people would be interested in it. we were actually looking at some ideas as far as providing ice for different events, kind of like what Cascade Lakes does, I guess.
Right.
Just on a much smaller scale. Probably something this size or.
Right. But it's just nice to know that there's
Yes.
water out there that's going to be a benefit to our bodies and stuff.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah. The other great thing, and what we've really tried to do, and that's what's been a very difficult, expensive task to do, is everything is made in America. 98% of everything is made in America. It's locally sourced. We have one of the guys I met. He made me a 6-foot by 7-foot barn door from 170-year-old homestead wood in Kinzua, out near Condon. Go out to Fossil and keep going. So yeah, he found, and so he made me a beautiful piece that's going to slide back and forth right in front of the store, in between the stores, so you'll be able to see it. I have a gentleman, before we moved up here, he etched me some glass blocks for all 5 of the military services, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. So those will all be displayed in the store as well. Yeah, just everything I possibly could. I'm making, still in the process. I need to go home and finish epoxying. But yeah, I'm making the tables themselves, all the front counters. Those were all purchased right here in town, either here or at the antique store. So I'm trying to keep everything as close and give back as much as I can. The other thing that we want to do is, and actually S&C painted our place. The guys that did the VFW, they did an amazing job. And they were lickety split on it. Like, they were able to fit me in to where I can get open.
Wonderful.
What else? The last other thing that we're doing, because we want to give back, is we are looking for local artists, and I found a handful, and we're going to display their art on some type of consignment basis, probably eventually. So when you come into the store, you can see beautiful local artists all about. Lots of sisters and lots of all the different mountains around, lots of water scenes and things like that. But they will be available for sale as well. So, yes, sir.
Do you have a website yet?
SasquatchWater.com is up. It is not very functional. It will be soon. We're on both Facebook and Instagram, so you can follow us there. And I am posting construction updates. I will put up an open date as soon as I can physically come up with one. It depends on how long everything takes to get shipped up here and installed. But it is less than 30 days from now. Yes, sir.
How did you choose Sasquatch as your name, and how did you choose Central Oregon for your location?
So we have indirectly been part of Central Oregon for the last 25 years, since my wife and I got married. She has family in Bend. We have family over in Sweet Home, Corvallis, Eugene, and we've just been coming up here, bringing our kids up here, and I've always kind of had that wandering spirit, and I've always wanted to get out of California. I wanted to leave that there. I tried to leave that there. I did my best. And so we started looking in Bend, and it was a little too California, too Portland-y still for us. And we drove through Redmond, and my wife fell in love with it. It looks a lot like our old town of Woodland, as far as the downtown and what they do and how they care about vets. And that kind of sold it. We actually started out, I was telling someone earlier, we started out looking in Sun River, and we just kept moving north. The market was pretty good for us a couple of years ago, so we've been here 2.5 years now. And yeah, we found a house, and we walked in, and as soon as we walked out on the back deck, we were like, we need to put a bid on this. My wife has video of me saying it. As far as the Sasquatch name, that was, it was a whole family decision. We sat down one night and brainstormed, and we probably came up with at least 30 to 40 different names, everything under the sun. Some of them were hilarious, some of them were really bad, and we're better than Sasquatch Water.
That's right.
You know, who knows better than to find the best water? The Sasquatch. He's out there with the purest springs. You know, and it is. He's a Pacific Northwest icon. You know, so it kind of made sense, and we just wanted to know that. Come and get it. It's here for you. You know, you just got to come find us. And so we're not trying to be too hard to find. We're right in between the liquor store and the laundromat. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hi. I just wanted to say, when I saw you went down for this, I thought of my friend Larry, our friend Larry, who was selling machines to make it. And then I come in and I hear, you're making it.
Yes.
And then we just get the water.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There are those machines out there. They're a couple $1,000s. You can get them installed in your house, and they'll do basically what I'm doing. Most folks can't afford that. And so when I was able to find this company, another veteran-owned company, the guys that actually made the equipment down south, he's an ex-Navy guy. It was just a great meeting. And so yeah, we connected and figured I could bring it to everybody up here.
So
And it's such a thing in California. I mean, if any of you guys have been down there, anywhere you go in the Central Valley, there's a water store, if not 7, in every town. They're almost as prevalent as Starbucks. You know? Oh yeah. And that's because most towns have garbage water.
Oh, yeah.
So.
What's the price point compared to like if you go to the grocery store and buy a bottle of Smart Water or whatever?
Okay, so the price we're still, I don't want to give it away yet.
Sorry.
No, but so right now you can go to Lowe's, right, and you can do the Primo. You go walk in, I think it's Primo Water.
Yes.
And they do 5-gallon jugs, similar to, and you just turn in one bottle, kind of like a propane tank. You turn in one empty one, you get a full one. They're charging, I think it's $6.99 for 5 gallons, and it's $13, $14, something like that to get started. So you have to basically start that subscription, get the initial bottle, and then when you come and refill your next 5-gallon, they charge you $6 or whatever it is like that, $6.99. We will be significantly lower than that. We're looking less than $1 for the reverse osmosis water. The alkaline water actually is going to be more expensive, and that's why we're doing them in 20, 48, and 64 ounce fills. But those will you'll probably be looking about $3 to $4 for a growler fill, we'll say. So definitely competitive. If you once you leave here, you're all going to see water. Oh, water. Okay, you're going to start realizing. Just like when you buy a new car, you start seeing your car everywhere, right? But yeah, we will probably. And the other thing is about that. So like in front of Safeway, they have the Glacier machine. You bring your own bottle, do the same thing like you can right at front of my store. I think they're charging 40 cents a gallon. Something like that, so that's pretty cheap. But if you do, which I did for you, research, they do 5 times filtration, and I'm not a fan of Arrowhead. I don't know if any of you guys are. It tastes like dirt to me. I don't know if you like that natural flavor, but I'm not a fan of Arrowhead, and that's what Glacier water tastes like to me. And it's only, like I said, 5 times filtered, whatever. So, like, I like my vodka 12 times filtered, not like, you know. So, I think that is about everything that I was going to tell you. unless you have any more questions.
Any last question?
Well, really quick, because I know we'll be finishing up here. You know, the main thing too, you know, I come from nursing for 30 years, and then now I work for hospice as their marketer. The number one thing we were taught in schools is the best antibiotic is water.
Mhm.
When you're sick, the best thing to drink is water. And so with the water that you're going to be offering and the nutrients that it's going to give, it's a game changer. If it, you know, to me, it's like, I'd drink that water over buying a bottle of water in the store. And if it's a little more costly, but on what you've explained and more that we'll learn once your place is open and
Yep.
stuff, is that it can be worth paying the money if it's going to benefit the body.
Yes.
Plus, if you're not buying bottled water,
Right, exactly.
bottled water that you have to,
Exactly.
people either throw away or try to recycle.
Yes.
Yes.
And not even use it at all.
And we'll have the bottles there for sale, and they're all
Yeah.
being made in the U.S. too. I
Good.
found a company that's doing that that's able to do that for me. Yes, sir.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I understood that good tasting water, sometimes it has certain minerals in it that makes it taste better. Now, with all this filtration going on, are you removing those minerals and getting flat tasting water?
I have heard that, and as a young kid drinking from a hose, I would say that, you know, it does add something to it. What I've found as I've drank the water is it's not flat tasting. It actually has a very nice, refreshing flavor. I'm hoping that's from the coconut filtration, but yeah, there is that argument. You know, a lot of people say they'd rather drink well water, and there's guaranteed minerals in that. You know, that's well water. So
But there might be nitrates in that
yeah.
water. If you're
So
an
no, I don't
island,
have
there's
a- I don't
nitrates in
have
that
a-
water.
I'll give you a waffle answer on that one. How about
It's
that?
a matter of taste.
Personal taste.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we want to thank you for coming and
Yeah.
Yes.
very
Thank you.
insightful. And, you know, once it's up on the website, you can go watch yourself.
Great.
So,
That'll
yeah.
be fun. That'll
But,
be so much fun.
We appreciate it, and I will continue to watch.
Yes.
And I'm
Pray
gonna
for a
see-
Christmas miracle. That's what I can say. If you
There
guys
we
are-
go.
if you want
Take a
an
picture
opening
of
date,
us.
pray for a Christmas
Yeah,
miracle.
well, we'd
Yeah.
be really
So the
excited.
other thing we do here, you know, this is the highlight of everybody's
Oh,
talk,
no.
is getting a little giveaway item. These are handcrafted pens from local wood,
Okay.
and so this is our appreciation.
Thank you so
John.
much.
Yeah, there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you for putting up with my
No,
shenanigans.
all right.